I had to deliver those back.
Gotta love technology.
Oh. All right, so let's just start off, and why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Lopez?
Sure. I'm originally from DC, Washington, DC. I moved to Georgia about 12 years ago, just looking for a new beginning, new start, right? Rent is cheap down here, so I figured.
In comparison, for sure.
I went to high school in DC, but I did college here in Georgia. I went to Georgia State. I'm currently going to Georgia.
Panthers.
Yeah, go Panthers. And I'm working on my master's now in curriculum and instruction. So
that's awesome.
Should be finished with that in July.
Congratulations.
Are you planning to move to Gwinnett?
I live in Gwinnett now.
Oh, okay.
He's only a quarter mile from us. Dr. Vetter checked on him, actually.
Yeah.
He wants Mr. Lopez somewhere. He wants the right fit for Mr. Lopez, is what he was telling me. So
yeah, he's been contacting me about a position, and so I live right across Shiloh High School, and it always felt like I'm here now. I should be part of the community, right? Mm-hmm. So I looked, but Shiloh never posted anything for Spanish this year. So I said, let's keep going. Let's see what's going on, but luckily Dr. Vetter's got my back, I guess.
We're so happy that we get to fill the position. So tell me a little bit about your teaching style, your teaching philosophy.
Well, I think it's got to be student-centered. I think we often as teachers think that we're the only ones that do the teaching, when I learned so much from my students. And so I like to use it more as a student center. I like to use music a lot. Were you guys able to hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
You kind of froze, but we could still hear you. So that was great.
Okay, good. Like I said, I think the students, they've been in school for so long, they know routine, especially if you set it from the beginning. They understand the in and out of it. I don't like to sugarcoat things too much, especially when they're mature. Right now I'm working with 8th graders, and they, sometimes some topics can be a little controversial, but I try to give to them straight. The kids, I think they can tell when you're lying to them, when you're kind of, dancing around things. And so I'm very open. I like to have open dialogue, but that's in social studies, right? With Spanish, I'd love to just open up a brand new world to the students. Books, music, TV, everything that they might be missing out on. So that's one of the things that interested me about teaching Spanish.
Yeah, because you can teach social studies in the Spanish class. We're doing La Guerra Sucia from Argentina in my Spanish 3 class right now. And I'm loving that the kids can pull in similarities from what's happening in our own country right now. So it's been amazing. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And I think students, we tend to focus on the United States without realizing that the world is going through some things that we're dealing with as well. So it's something that really does interest me.
Okay. So what are some adjectives that you would use to describe your presence in the classroom?
Leader. Definitely. I think that I if you're a great leader, I think the students follow. If you're unprepared for something in class, the students can pick up on that really easily. Hardworking. I like to think that as myself as a hard worker. I love when the light bulb goes off in the student's head when they learn something new. You could see it, and it's really great. And I want to say loyal. I'm working on a team now, and it's AD or no one, right? And it's like we're the best. I'm the best. We're the greatest, and I'm going to show it to you. And so those are some of the things that I guess I would describe myself as.
Okay. So in your experience, what are some of the ways that you have handled, or how would you handle a disruptive or defiant student in the classroom?
We have that a lot as teachers, right? It happens more often than not. And we tend to forget that they're, especially in high school and our age, they're teenagers. They're going through things. I'm not a screamer. I don't like to scream or get in people's faces. I like to assess a situation, depending on what it is, of course. I like to pull a student out, maybe aside, and have a conversation. Hey, what's going on? Do you need a mental break? Do you need to, because I get it. Yes, school is important, but it's not everything, right? And so, they're dealing with a lot of things, everything, right? And so, I like to give them an opportunity to open a dialogue. And to be honest with you, I don't think I have that many situations where students explode or blow up, unless it's something that's coming from home or, they bring in to the school. I think I have a good control in class. Of course, we can all have better class management and learn more, but I'm a big guy. So, if they mess around too much, put an elbow down, hey, settle down, right?
And kind of on the flip side, how do you motivate your students?
I think learning does it itself, especially like I said with Spanish. I want to, have students learn new music, enjoy those, read a good book, something in Spanish would be fantastic. Maybe even compare some of the books that we might be able to read together and say, hey, how do you feel? How does it feel in Spanish and, or songs, for example, how can you translate it? And how does it feel for you? Does it make a difference, right? I'm in 8th grade right now, so a mint goes a long way, right? Hey, question right, here's a mint. They love those kinds of things, but I try to use the time
they still like that in high school, but it's more chocolate,
right.
Or chips,
or donuts, or
right.
And as a team, I also plan out. Of course, with COVID-19, we weren't able to do as much, but I like to plan out field trips. Days where we can have movie days and things like that, something that kids will enjoy, and show that it's not all about books and learning. You can learn by watching TV. You can learn by, listen to music and relaxing a little bit. So, I like to do those kinds of things with my students, like a donut party, like you said, or something as simple as that. They love those kinds of things.
Yes, they were very disappointed when the Krispy Kreme right over here closed.
Who are you telling?
Right. Yes, a lot of us would drive through that drive-through and come on to school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, it closed all of a sudden. I did the same thing. I was going to pick up donuts for my team. It was Friday. Hey, I said, let's have a light little treat, and it's closed permanently. I almost cried a little bit, but I'm not going to. So I just, I found a Dunkin' Donuts down the road and, pick that up.
Not the same.
It's not the same. I know. It's not.
It has to do though. Oh goodness. So what about with, where'd my Zoom go? It disappeared. There we go. I'm still here. Whew. What about communication, right? And relationships with parents? How do you create and build those relationships to be able to, encourage the student on the other side?
I'm sorry, I lost you there for a moment. Can you repeat that question?
Sure. What about communication and positive relationships with the parents? How do you structure those, or how do you form those?
Well, I'm a new parent myself.
Congratulations.
I got a 13-month-old baby, and I know the struggle now, right? I can understand why parents are so in love and crazy and want the best for their children. Respect, really. I try to, if they shoot me an email, I try to respond as soon as I can, with respect, always with respect. I think that, you can learn a lot, from a student and how they treat their grownups. Children, I'm not going to let anything happen to them, and I really want them to succeed. So I think those are some ways that I can communicate with parents.
We lost you for a little bit of that, but I could see how passionate your answer was.
And I was like going, hello, did it work? What did I hit something? And then you came back. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So I know you have experience, with 8th grade, middle grades, and you're familiar with IEPs and things like that. So when teaching with Spanish, what are some ways that you would differentiate your instruction so that you're able to meet the needs of those students, but also when it comes to learning a language, you're going to have your highs, your middles, and your lows. You've also got to differentiate to be able to meet their needs.
So I got IEP and differentiation to meet students' needs.
Awesome. Looks like she got a little call.
I heard that much, but I didn't hear much else after that.
What are some ways that you would differentiate for your special ed students who have accommodations, but also for your students in the classroom, between the high, the middle, and the low, because you're going to have those levels as well within, Spanish 1, Spanish 2.
I think sometimes partnering up students, especially before COVID-19, if you take someone who's a high, fluent speaker or someone that, understands Spanish very well, and you place it with somebody else.
He froze now. Uh-oh.
We're frozen.
Darn it. He'll come back in a minute. Oh,
I heard him. I heard him.
Hello. We lost you. We lost you at this.
Zoom does that to me all the time. It's terrible. It's just Zoom.
That is so weird.
But
This is just perfect for a Friday.
We're entertained.
Do you want to end this one and try a different Zoom, see if maybe restarting will help?
how about this? How about we try turning off the cameras? Maybe that'll help.
We could try that.
Sometimes it helps.
Bye.
All right, there we go.
So maybe this will be a little bit more like a phone call. You won't see my passionate face and hand gestures.
I know, and I'm upset about that, Lopez.
No, but with students with disabilities and students that need help, I mean, there's so many applications nowadays where, students don't learn just by using textbooks. You can show a video, you can play music, you can play games. There's so many different ways that you can reach students nowadays without it just being about textbook. And of course, following their IEPs and 504s is always important.
And we definitely, we have textbooks, but I don't know how much our teachers really actually use them.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm the same way. I don't think I use a textbook. They're so outdated, especially in social studies. They still have, I think, what was it? The last book that I had Obama as president. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was his first term. So, I'm like, that's just outdated.
Okay. All right. So, Rita, do you want to use the next question and kind of lead that into your questions?
Sure. I lost my place though. So let me play.
Project-based learning, collaborative.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm sorry, I lost it again. I'm having real issues today.
It's Friday. I understand.
So do you incorporate collaborative and project-based learning into the classroom? Or do you use project-based learning? First of all, I suppose we should ask. Uh-oh. I don't hear anybody. I don't know if that's me.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay, good. No, that's okay.
What was your question again?
Project-based learning. Are you familiar with project-based learning, and do you use it at all?
Yes, we do. And we actually on our team like to do it intercurricular. So, generally would do about 2 to 3, maybe even more a year. But I usually work with one other person or two, and try to, at the end of the school year, especially, we try to do a collective one. So yes, I am very familiar with project-based learning. I think it's really important, right? With COVID-19, it was a little bit more difficult to implement
Absolutely.
that. Were you able to get that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We do quite a bit of training for our newer teachers with project-based learning. Sometimes even still trying to do that training and make sure people really understand what it is for the more experienced teachers, because a project isn't necessarily project-based learning. But it sounds like you guys are using it. We also try to do a lot of project-based learning, especially when it comes to incorporating our academies into the foreign language classroom. I don't know if you know much about Shiloh. Do you know about our academies?
No, I'm not familiar with the academies. I was looking through the course catalog, and I saw some things in there that surprised me a little bit, but I'm not sure about the academies.
So there are 5 or 6 high schools in the county that are considered to be academy schools,
Mhm.
and we're basically broken down into almost like smaller schools inside. We have our 9th grade academy, which is, of course, for our 9th graders, and they're housed in the E wing of the building upstairs. We're also an international baccalaureate school, so we do have kind of like an IB group.
Yes, I saw that.
But the academies themselves are Business Arts and Marketing, the BAM Academy, Wellness, Health, and Education, which is the WE Academy, and we also have the STEM Academy. So within those academies, our students are able to complete pathways and receive certification that they're able to use out in the real world without having to not necessarily have to go to a vocational school, or it gives them a leg up when trying to get a job. So they're actually able to get different auto, there's cosmetology that we work with, and that's through Maxwell and Grayson Tech.
Mhm.
We have in-house, we have stuff related to gaming design, engineering. We have, our biggest thing is our health occupations. We are partnered with CVS, and we have our own kind of mini pharmacy in the building.
Wow.
Doesn't have any drugs in it. It's just bottles and stuff, but the kids learn, what it takes to be a pharmacy technician. So they get that kind of that boost into getting a job.
They actually get to sit for that test also. And
Yes.
CVS, our teacher for the pharmacy classes is wonderful. And she pulls in people from CVS that actually interview those students, and then they can leave as a pharmacy tech making about $12 an hour. So it's not a bad situation.
No, that sounds really good. I wish I had that in my high school.
Right.
The only thing I remember when I was growing up was home ec, and
Mhm.
that was about the only thing that we had. But that sounds like a really interesting. What I find interesting about it is that it's provided by the school, but it's not necessarily something like preparing you just for college.
Right.
Which is something that I think, I went to tech school. I was a massage therapist before I became a teacher. And so, I know that, college, some people say college isn't for everyone.
Mhm.
Well, it's all in your own time. I didn't go to college
Absolutely.
until I was a little bit older. And so I was able to appreciate it. And if I had those kinds of programs, I was a high school dropout. That's really what got me back into teaching, is that, on my senior year, my counselor was like, yeah, I think you should drop out. I didn't have
Wow.
a chance to graduate. And so I took that with me, and I thought to myself, I can't be the only student that's slipping through the cracks, and I need to give back. And so in middle school, I was able to talk to many students about, their futures, but, they're in 8th grade. They don't know what they want to do yet. And, they're going to 9th grade, and it's a brand new world. And so, I thought to myself, maybe high school would be the place for me, be able to,
Mhm.
tell them about my story, how I struggled, and how, I didn't go to college when I was 18, fresh out, but I eventually came around to it after, life experiences and things like that. So that sounds really interesting. I did not know about that. That's really interesting.
Awesome.
Spanish portion.
I was just getting ready to ask you. It's my turn.
Your turn. And while I might be the administrator over world languages and my background is ESL, I only speak one language, and that's English. So
barely that.
Hush, it's been a long day.
I love you.
Leave me alone.
Let it be known, it wasn't me. I wasn't making fun of anything.
Sorry, we're really to that point today. Oh gosh.
Lord.
No, I love you. I love you, Miss Ashley. Don't take that
I know you do. I give you Mountain Dew.
Exactly. My downfall there. Ok, bueno, siempre tenemos esta parte de la entrevista en donde tengo que hablar en español. Y pues me había dicho Dr. Vetter que usted tiene una historia y me imagino que estaba refiriendo a eso, ¿no? Que dejó de ir a la escuela.
Sí. Yo le conté esa historia y le gustó porque me dice, bueno, entonces tu lugar es en la escuela secundaria. Tú puedes ayudar a muchos estudiantes en esa forma. Cosa que no podía yo hacer en el 8º grado, ¿no? Entonces, por eso es que me interesó y mis mismos estudiantes me dijeron, maestro, ¿usted habla español? ¿Por qué no enseña español? Y dije yo, puchica, yo aprendí de mis estudiantes. Dije yo, bueno, tengo que ir a hacer el examen y a ver si lo puedo hacer, ¿no? Y me salió. Ahora puedo enseñar de P hasta el 12 y eso es algo que no me voy a olvidar.
Y bueno, mi opinión es que no solo es high school, pero también de estas escuelas como Shiloh y South Gwinnett, porque así son los estudiantes aquí que pierden la esperanza de ser algo, porque la realidad es que tienen tantos estreses afuera de la escuela que hay veces que no se puede concentrar en lo que está pasando en la escuela. Entonces salen de la escuela o no pueden enfocar porque tienen que trabajar, tienen que hacer muchas cosas. Sí. Entonces, bueno, es por eso que, bueno, me emocioné yo haber escuchado eso de Dr. Vetter, porque es lo que necesitamos aquí. Son los maestros que realmente entienden a los estudiantes, a ese tipo de estudiante. Sí. Entonces, sí, pues, y bueno, tengo que saber cómo aprendió español.
Bueno, mis padres son de Honduras y mi abuela, la mamá de mi mamá, estaba enferma con cáncer. Entonces, mi mamá decidió ir a ver a su madre, pasar tiempo con ella y estuvimos en Honduras. Yo y mi hermana estuvimos 3 años. Fue donde aprendí a hablar y escribir en español. Lo único fue que se me olvidó el inglés. Entonces, cuando yo regresé, porque tenía como 10 años cuando regresé, ya tenía que volver a aprender el inglés. Pero gracias a eso soy bilingüe. Y no me gustó Honduras mucho para vivir. Para visitar está bien, pero para vivir no. Es una diferencia, ¿no? Estar aquí en los Estados Unidos y de repente vivir en Honduras, especialmente a la edad de tan chico, no fue buena experiencia para mí, ¿no? Pero lo que sí puedo decir es que fui bilingüe por eso.
Exacto. Wow. Y ¿sabe mucho del método de la entrada comprensible o comprehensible input? O sea, se llama comprehensible input, pero significa que limitamos el vocabulario que usamos en la clase para que entiendan los estudiantes.
Sí, Dr. Vetter me dijo. Creo que es el 80 y 20%, me dijo.
Ajá.
Sí, lo entendí, me lo explicó bien y está bien, yo lo entiendo. Es bueno porque la práctica es que ayuda a los estudiantes. Y estoy yo hablando solo inglés y inglés, ellos ya saben hablar eso, ¿verdad? Entonces, sí, lo entendí y me lo explicó.
I think we lost him again a little bit.
I'm back.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
You say no, I understand it. Yes, he explained it to me.
Excelente, perfecto. Y bueno, en nuestro departamento, bueno, en mis clases, la verdad, yo soy la única que enseña la mayoría bueno, ya la mayoría, porque enseño también español 3 y hay veces que otros maestros también enseñan estas clases, pero como soy la única, no tengo que, partner up. Not that that's a bad thing, porque me encanta trabajar con los otros, but because I work by myself, much of the time I can use different things. And I spent a lot of time actually with another coworker, and we reconstructed Spanish 3. So we use novels actually to teach our classes. And in doing that, it's much easier to stick with comprehensible input, but also to introduce, like exactly what you were saying, songs and history and, just pull in all these different things. So yeah. Okay, Miss Ashley, we're good there.
Okay, I was trying to get my mute to turn back off. All right, well, I wanted to also give you an opportunity to kind of, if you had any questions for us about Shiloh, about the day, and just anything in general regarding us.
No, well, I think you guys explained that sometimes you guys are collaborative and working with each other. One of the things that I was worried about getting into Spanish is I thought I was just going to be thrown into the lions by myself. And it tends to happen in schools, right? Because that's what happened in my first year. But I did have a supportive team, people that I could come to and ask for help and guidance. And so I was just wondering if that's something that you guys seem to be real close and have fun. And so it seems to me like you guys do help each other out.
We currently have 9 teachers in world languages. We have 2 French, 2 German, 1 ESOL, and the rest are Spanish. So, especially in like the French and the German and of course the ESL, it's a lot of singletons. They may have like one German teacher has the 1s and 2s, the other one has the 3s and 4s and higher. So, a lot of that kind of stuff might be more insular, but they do work together to make sure everything is lining up. With Spanish, we typically have 2 or 3 teachers teaching the same thing. And they do work together on ideas and plans. You have the same AKS, the same pacing chart, the same exams, but how you get there is up to you.
Okay.
Because we teach in different ways.
Right.
We have a retired military person, and the way he teaches is very, very different from my first year teacher out of college.
Sure.
So they're teaching the same material, but the way they teach it is their strength. So, I never want you to do something that feels completely and totally foreign to you when it comes to teaching. We do encourage y'all to go and observe each other. Especially with our Spanish teachers, we've had a lot of them, they go back and forth to each other's classrooms and just sit in the classroom for 10 minutes just to see what's going on. And we definitely do encourage that. And, they're constantly talking to each other about what they're working on and what their kids are doing and how they've done with this. So, you're not working alone. You're not insular. You're not in a silo by yourself.
Right. And the support, this position particularly is for Spanish 1 and 2. And those particular classes always have multiple teachers.
And a French one if you happen to speak French.
Right.
Sorry, I got the gist of it. I heard you with the being an individual, but with help. You can still have, that's good.
Right.
So the way our evaluation system works for our teachers, it's been different this year because of the pandemic, but typically it is 2 brief observations, which are about 10 to 15 minutes, and then 1 full observation that is 30 minutes or longer. And that happens each semester. And then those are how you're evaluated over those over the 10 standards for education. We also, the administrative team, we do walkthroughs almost every week, where we just walk in, we're there for a couple of minutes to see what's going on, and we leave, and we provide y'all with feedback over what we saw. What were y'all working on? What did the kids tell us? What did we see? Did we see room for improvement? If we saw something, we're like, hey, so-and-so does really well with this topic, you might want to go and talk to that person. And those are in no way evaluative. The only ones that are evaluative are the briefs and the full observation. But we are very hands-on, and we do like to see what our teachers are doing in the classroom.
Sure.
We are a modified block school. So right now we're kind of on an A-B schedule, where we're the same classes on Monday, Wednesday, and then on Tuesday, Thursday are different classes. And then on Fridays, you see everybody. When we come back the next school year, it is going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. You'll see all of your classes. And then Wednesday and Thursday are block days, so that you have that longer 90-minute time to really get into stuff with your kids.
Okay.
The work day is typically 6:45 to 2:45, 3 o'clock. We have a new teacher cohort. They're called the New Generals. And that's a year-long cohort where, you're meeting with one of our administrators, and they set up different guest speakers or activities and things to help you become acclimated to Shiloh High School.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just for brand new teachers, it's for anybody who is new to Shiloh High School. So, we definitely, try to make sure that you learn everything there is to know about Shiloh High School.
Good, no. That's really great. I mean, because at Henderson, they had something like that on paper. And then I realized I'm going to have to learn a lot on my own, which is fine, but you do have teachers or people that aren't really great at that. So for example, my first week, they made me team leader. And
wow.
and this is of course, I was hired a week later when the school started. So they threw me in, and they were like, "Oh, you look like a good leader." And I was like, "Okay." They were like, "Yeah, go for it." And I'm 6 years later, I'm still team leader, so I must have done something right. But it was very scary, right? It was very just like, wow, I could make so many mistakes here, and I wouldn't know how to correct myself. So, but I like the fact that that's something that Shiloh provides for new teachers.
This is definitely not a sink or swim. We're going to give you some little floaties, and we're going to help you out there. We might throw you a life preserver if you need it.
Good, excellent.
Let's see. What about any extracurricular activities? Anything like that you might be interested in?
Oh, well,
I saw in your application you listed soccer.
Yeah, you obviously can't tell from the way I look now, but I used to play soccer when I was younger. So some of that stuck, I could do that. I know I was interested in maybe potentially like indoor soccer. So that way I can, have more students join and participate, not just, for example, boy or girls soccer, kind of co-ed. Clubs would be cool too. Because I know high school do provide those for students, and so you might find an anime club. I don't know.
We have had an anime club before, and it was actually one of our former Spanish teachers who worked with that. We've got the Spanish honor, French honor, German honor. Miss McGill covers Spanish Honor Society, National Honor Society, and Beta Club, and she would love to give away one or two of those.
Absolutely. At least a little help is good,
I got you. Yeah, no, I understand.
We also have one of our new teachers is also working with Hope,
which is Hispanic. Let me see if I can get it. Hispanic organization promoting education.
And we have a ton of the various different clubs and things related to the arts and fine arts and dancing, chorus, band, orchestra. We do have a boys and girls soccer team. We do not have indoor soccer, so that would be interesting.
Yeah.
We got a golf team this year, swim team, football. We're making a comeback with football. We'll be beating South Gwinnett.
I can hear you guys' games from my house, from my backyard, really.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So we will definitely put you to work on games. Let's see, basketball is our big thing.
Okay.
We typically do very well in the standings with basketball.
And track.
And track, we go to state every year.
Nice.
So
that's the only thing. Those last two are the only ones that I wouldn't be able to. Basketball, I always hurt my fingers trying to play. The only thing I can't do. I don't know why it is. I played football, soccer, tennis. Basketball is the only one that I always ended up getting hurt in. Just couldn't.
And your fingers specifically.
Yeah, my fingers. Every time I try to catch a
right
ball,
there with you.
Just awful.
Wow.
I broke one finger playing basketball and one finger playing volleyball. So.
Oh my gosh.
Both in high school too. So. Do you have any other questions for us?
No, I think we covered it. I think you guys, with the sink and swim kind of thing, you guys kind of covered it. I'm really happy about that. It's just like I said, just from experience that I've had at Henderson was just not as great. But
sure. Well, we are very much a family atmosphere with our teachers here, especially in the department. This is my fourth year here at Shiloh. And my fourth year as an administrator. I transferred from Meadow Creek High School, and I had been there for 14 years as a teacher and then a lead teacher, the ESWL coordinator there, and made the leap from a lead teacher to an administrator. So I cover world languages, ESOL, testing, and picking up credit recovery next year. Student council, homecoming, gateway. Kind of a jack of all trades.
Wow, yeah, it sounds like it.
And that's true of all of the administrators. We do have quite a few. There's a lot of stuff that we deal with. But my door is typically always open. So, if you ever just needed to come in and talk, or if you needed to vent, or if you just wanted to just come in and sit, my door is always open. I have multiple teachers who do that. Very rarely is my door closed. And if it is closed, then you really don't want to open it.
Yeah, right.
Usually I'm in the middle of a testing meltdown or trying to figure out whatever new testing issue's been brought up to me. So that's typically really the only times my door is closed, is if I'm in the middle of dealing with something with testing. And I've been fussed at before by a mentor who said, there are times when you need to close your doors, close your door. So same thing with Rita, her door is always open.
Absolutely.
I barge into her classroom all the time.
I love it, actually. I love visitors. Come whenever you want.
Sounds good.
We are back full on face-to-face next year.
Right.
We will not be doing concurrent learning.
Yes.
So those parents who have opted for the digital learning, they will be our students, but they will go through Gwinnett Online Campus through GOC for all of their classes.
I know that they are implementing virtual days throughout the school year. I saw on the calendar, which is great to keep up with that. That whole thing. You just never know. You never know.
Yes, and it is a great opportunity to provide a chance for the teachers to meet together, to catch up, to whatever it is that you need to work on for your classes. It provides you that opportunity, and the kids are still working on assignments.
Good.
So, well, I think that's it. If you don't have any other questions, We are looking to make a decision probably towards the end of next week, beginning of the following week. We do have a couple more interviews set up for next week, but we will definitely be in touch. And we thoroughly enjoyed the interview.
Absolutely. Yes.
I did too. Zoom realized it's Friday, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to work only
Yeah.
halfway today. So
Yep. It's like Zoom is done.
Yeah. I feel it. I feel it for sure.
all right. Well,
All
enjoy
right.
your Friday. Have a great
You
weekend.
too.
You too. Thank you.
We'll talk
Thank
later.
you.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Bye.
Bye.